What a day. Nobody was staying in their lane. At least I got my cardboard crack. Yeah. Let's take a look at some modern. Rare. What's going on here? Rare. Mythic. Rare. Mythic. Rare. Modern was no good. What about standard? Alright, standard, here we come. Rare. Oh, uncommons. Okay, maybe we're getting mythics. Rare. The guy wants to play with commons. What's he supposed to do with all of this crap? Well, guys, luckily, if you like common cards as much as me, a new set is just around the corner, and who knows, by the time... Actually, you know what? No. Just around the corner, and I am here to talk about all of the best commons from Rivals of Ixalan. Who needs Modern? Who needs Standard? We got Pauper. It's the best format. Everyone knows it. The GP's just starting to recognize it. It's the best format. But right now, on Pauper Ponderings, brought to you by the Mana Base, we're going to talk about the best commons in Rivals of Ixalan, and there are some good ones. So, to start things off, we're going to be talking about Dusk Legion Zealot. This is 1 and a black for a 1/1, and when Dusk Legion Zealot enters the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. So right off the bat, the cards that come to mind are Phyrexian Rager. This card is a 2 and a black for a 2/2. When it comes into play, you draw a card and lose a life. The great thing about Dusk Legion Zealot is you can compare it favorably to some of the card draw spells in the black control decks or blue-black kind of flicker decks. But it actually compares fairly well to cards like Sign in Blood and cards like Night's Whisper. The reason being is it leaves a body, and in that blue-black kind of flicker strategy where you have cards like Seagate Oracle and Chittering Rats to gain value, the fact that you now have a 2-drop that you can play on curve as well as fit into your curve later in the game. So, you know, if you have a 3-drop on turn 5, you can play this and the Ghostly Flicker either your 3-drop and your 2-drop. Just, it opens up a lot more deck building space for these black-based mid-range and control decks. And having a card like this in the format, all it does is just open up new avenues, and that's fantastic. So, the next card I want to talk about is Frilled Death Spitter. It's 2 and a red for a 3/2 with enraged, so whenever it's dealt damage, it deals 2 damage to target opponent. Now, the reason I have Pestilence brought up beside it is because I think that Pestilence and Frilled Death Spitter can kind of go in the same deck and kind of act as a deterrent against like elves or any sort of white token deck, or possibly even goblins if people are still playing that. With the Frilled Death Spitter in play, and then you play Pestilence, every turn you can just pay a black to deal 2 damage to your opponent, because the Pestilence deals 1 damage to the Frilled Death Spitter. It'll deal 1 damage to all creatures, so it'll clean up all the small elves in play. You'll have to take 1, but I think that's a small price to pay. Then, in the late game, you can actually just start throwing the Pestilences, so you can deal 2 damage to the Frilled Death Spitter, which in turn will deal 4 damage to them, and 6 damage total. So, I think this combo can be something. Pestilence has proven itself to be a very powerful card in Pauper, and I think Frilled Death Spitter goes in the same type of strategies that Pestilence wants to be in. So I'm excited about this card. It also allows you to attack into tokens and elves very efficiently. So yeah, I'm excited about Frilled Death Spitter going forward in Pauper. The next card I want to talk about is Hardy Veteran. It's 1 and a green for a 2/2, and as long as it's your turn, Hardy Veteran gets +0/+2. So this card is nothing really special, but the fact that it's a 2-mana 2/4 is quite the rate. We see cards kind of get played in Pauper that, you know, sometimes just they kind of fill a niche role somewhere. And I think that depending on the situation, Hardy Veteran being a 2-mana 2/4 on your turn holds a Rancor very well. It holds a Bone Splitter very well. So maybe this could slot into something like Mono Green Stompy, depending on what your meta is and how many small tokens your opponents are playing on the other side. Because, you know, a 2-mana 4/4, that's affinity rate, and that's what they play. They play Carapace Forger. This card can mirror that a lot in Mono Green Stompy, and that's a creature that they don't usually get at that size. So, you know what? Maybe a little mundane, maybe a little boring, but I think that Hardy Veteran has the opportunity to see some play in Pauper. Next card that I think is worth bringing up is Martyr of Dusk. It's 1 and a white for a 2/1. And when Martyr of Dusk dies, create a 1/1 white vampire with lifelink. It itself is also a vampire, but is also a soldier. So the reason I like this card is not only that it's good in like token strategies as a possible replacement for Doom Travel in some situations. Wow, my hair is wild. I'll probably fix that. I'm not cutting that out. I think that's a good spot. But anyways, I think the fact that it's a soldier, I've played a couple soldier decks on Pauper Ponderings, and I actually really like this card in that deck. Obviously, the token it makes is not a soldier, but the rest of the deck, I think, could really benefit from a card like this. And if you're into any sort of tribal strategies, a card like this only cements those strategies even more. Any sort of black-white token strategy as well, I think this definitely can slot into a lot of different decks in the Pauper format. Alright, so the last couple cards I want to talk about is actually a group, not just a couple individual cards. Because very rarely in Pauper do you see the creation of new archetypes. You'll see staple cards, like the Monarch mechanic, you know, Thorn of the Black Rose. That card is really taking the format by storm. But you very rarely see a new mechanic come in or a new tribe come in and create its own deck. With Dinosaurs, I actually think there's a situation where that deck can become a thing. So with cards like Knight of the Stampede and Kinjali's Collar, they reduce the cost of dinosaur spells. Kinjali's Collar being an 0/3 for 1 really does a good job of blocking on the ground. Knight of the Stampede has a decent sized body. It's not going to blow the socks off anything, but I think the card is fine. That being said, these cards are going to be instrumental if a dinosaur deck will become a thing, because it allows you to play multiple dinosaurs on a turn, and that's really what you're going to need to do. With a card like Lead the Pack, which just got, or sorry, Lead the Stampede, which just got reprinted in Iconic Masters at Common, playing and Lead the Stampede dinosaur deck, I don't think is out of the question right now. And being able to drop multiple dinosaurs in the same turn with Kinjali's Collar and Knight of the Stampede is huge. Now, what dinosaurs do we ramp into? So I think Overgrown Armosaur and Suncrown Hunters are two of the best dinosaurs to ramp into. Suncrown Hunters being a decent body for 6 mana, but the great part about this card is the Enrage mechanic. So whenever it's dealt damage, it deals 3 damage to target opponent. So we talked about this earlier, how Pestilence can be good with Frilled Deathspitter. Well, I think Suncrown Hunters lends itself to being played with cards like Prey Upon or Pounce, where you're able to fight a creature and also deal them 3 damage. We talked before when I was playing that Dragon Control deck how we wanted to get a card like Searing Blaze into the format and make it a little more accessible, so we tried Draconic Roar. Any sort of fight card like Pounce or Prey Upon will, combined with Suncrown Hunters, will turn that card into effectively a Draconic Roar. So that is very, very sweet, and I think that it is good enough to possibly see some play. Now, if you're asking, do you want to make a dinosaur deck? I'm in. I'm probably not this week or not next week, but maybe the week after that. If you have any ideas, please send them to me. Obviously, my email is down in the description, so if you have any ideas for a sweet dinosaur deck, I would love to hear them. But I'm probably going to be playing some sort of Pauper dinosaur deck in the coming weeks. Now, on the other flip side, we have Overgrown Armosaur. It's 3 green for a 4/4 with Enrage, and it makes a 1/1. So this is really, really great as well, because not only is it a large body, you're able to fight things and make yourself 1/1 Saprolinks. So I think that these two creatures are going to be the upper end of that dinosaur deck, and I'm pretty excited to possibly play around with it. There's one more card I want to look at, and I think that also slots perfectly into that dinosaur deck. So this is the last card I want to talk about. It's Tillinally's Crown. It's 1 and a red for an enchantment aura. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to the enchanted creature, and then the enchanted creature gets +3/+0 and has trample. So this is huge, because if you're able to bring it into play, you know, put it on any of your enraged creatures, and then it becomes the way to punch through those tokens or those elves. If you are able to go play this on a Suncrown Hunters, deal them 3, then attack. Now they're getting attacked for 8 with trample. If they block it, they're taking a bunch of damage, plus they're probably taking a bunch of damage from the Suncrown Hunters itself. I actually think this is the missing link to that Dinosaurs deck we were talking about. Maybe I'm being a little bit too optimistic about this proposition, but I do think that there's something here, and I think that Tillinally's Crown will be one of the cards that makes it a thing. So I'm excited to see where we go from here. If you thought of any of these cards were good or not good, or there was some I missed, please let me know down in the comments, because as you know, I love to be called an idiot, so make sure you get down there and call me an idiot. But yeah, I think Rivals of Ixalan is really cool. For a small set, the last small set, I think it's added a couple cards to this vast format that I think are pretty exciting. But anyways, hope you guys have fun at the pre-release this weekend. I will not be able to attend, unfortunately. I'm not in Winnipeg this weekend, but if you are, make sure you check it out. Pre-releases are the best. So thanks for watching, guys. Again, thanks to my sponsor, the Mana Base. My name is Austin. This was Pauper Ponderings, and I will see you all next week with another playthrough video. Hope you enjoy. Have fun at your pre-release. Have fun brewing and Pauper.